I've been struggling with my ability to focus and stay on task for a while now. This is something that kind of comes and goes for me. I'll tackle it for a while and then it kind of comes back. On top of all that, we've had an interesting start to the year. We found a few holes in our roof. My girlfriend's car broke down, so she had to drive my Mustang. And on top of that, I got a severe iritis. It's been kind of a lot to deal with on top of the normal work and life stuff. So I am completely going back to the drawing board on how I deal with focus, tackle work, and handle my ADHD. This video is sponsored by Monday.com. Let's get into it. I've talked very openly and honestly about how I have ADHD, and it's something I've struggled with my whole life. I was diagnosed with it in the 2nd grade, and it's one of those things that it's just kind of always been there for me. Meds never really worked. In fact, some of the meds I was on when I was a kid gave me severe migraines to the point where I was just in an insane amount of pain. And there was weird obstacles with that. Like, for example, I had a teacher that actually hated me. And this isn't just like, oh, a elementary school kid is thinking their teacher hates them. My mom's actually backed me up on this one. So throughout my whole life, I've just kind of learned to work with it and make it work for me rather than against me. Like I said, we've had a lot going on around the house here. Plus, work-wise, I'm a one-man shop. I'm not just a creator. I'm the accountant. I'm the admin. I'm the writer. I'm the editor. I'm the professional chef. I'm the everything under the roof, which the roof has 3 holes in right now. Plus, working from home means I have distractions like other people in the house sometimes. We're going to be having a new roof installed any day now. There's a lot happening around here. I have the flavor of ADHD that gives me the intense ability to just singularly focus on one thing as long as I'm excited about that one thing, which for stuff like creating videos, not a problem. I love creating videos. I can push everything out of the way to make videos. But when it comes to tackling email, writing proposals, sending invoices, cleaning the house, I couldn't care less about that stuff. If it was up to me, all I would do right now is make videos, 3D print stuff, and build Lego. But in that case, bills wouldn't get paid and I wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff. I personally felt like I've been going 1,000 miles an hour lately, but I've not actually arrived anywhere. I haven't gone to any place in particular. I'm just running in circles. I needed to take a step back and put a proper structure in place. I've come up with some key tenets for me to stick to, and they've really helped me so far. But overall, I'm thinking of this like a tunnel. The goal is to go into the tunnel and come out the other end. So to start a task and to complete a task. But the first part before going through the tunnel is I need to make sure the tunnel is clear. I need to make sure there's not any construction happening. One thing I've done for years now, and I think I've talked about this on the channel before, is every single morning, the first thing I do when I come into here, when I come into my office, is I clean up. I make sure this office gets reset. Now, part of that lately has been me building an organization system and cleaning out the office. I talked in my 3D printing video that I put out a little earlier that I've been building an organization system using Gridfinity, and I'm making sure everything in my office has a place to go, whether it's, me 3D printing a place for it to go or finding a spot for it, or just realizing I don't need it anymore and throwing it out or giving it away, depending on what it is. A side note, for those that have ADHD, having a 3D printer is amazing. Whenever you come across a problem, you can just immediately tackle it. Yeah, you gotta wait for it to finish printing, but it's been great for my ADHD. It's probably great for everyone, but particularly for me, like every time I've come across a problem in the last month or so, I'm just like, yep, I can fix this, no problem. Right now, I am working my way through my closet over here. This is where I keep all of my gear, and this has kind of just become a storage disaster. I've just been spending an hour every day going through it little by little. It's not something I have the time to just completely tackle in a day or two right now. I have other work things happening, and like I've talked about, other household things happening. But just a little bit of time every single day has made a big difference. I've gotten the right side almost completely cleaned up to the point where I can use the top of my tool chest as a workstation to assemble my camera rig, to store stuff while I'm filming, to just kind of keep things out of the way when I'm working in this space that I'm at. But having a clean space is important for your focus. If you have a clean space, that means you're not going to be focused on the clutter. Your attention's not going to be pulled into that mess that's around you. You're going to be able to focus on the tasks that you need to do and not think think about, oh, I need to take that garbage out. Oh, I really need to take those plates to the dishwasher. Oh, I need to throw those boxes out. You don't need to do any of that stuff because your space is cleaned up. Taking that, 5, 10, maybe even 20 minutes every single morning to pick up your space is going to make a huge difference for you throughout your day. This video is sponsored by Monday.com. I've been talking a lot in this video about fixing my focus and my productivity, and a big part of that is making sure I have the right pieces in place so that I can actually get stuff done. Monday.com is an incredible platform to manage projects, track financials, organize sales, and collaborate with a team. With Monday.com, you will have a platform for your team, organization, or company to tackle any project or task. Monday.com has a very intuitive interface, so it's easy to build out a workspace for your company or team. There are different kinds of ways to lay out information you are working with, including a spreadsheet-style board, interactive forums, custom dashboards, Kanban boards, Gantt charts, and calendar views. With Monday.com CRM, you can also track sales cycles and customer data so that you're saving time and not scrambling to find that post-it note or searching your overfilled inbox for that customer phone number that you have, but you just can't find it. Leads are always easy to access from Monday.com no matter where you are, and Monday.com will import leads from an Excel document so you're not wasting time copying and pasting information. You can also use Monday.com to generate documents for sales or any information you need to keep track of. Monday.com also has a mass email feature that allows you to send out personalized emails based off of a template to multiple contacts. If your role in the organization is more financial based, Monday.com has a bunch of options for you, including the ability to create detailed dashboards based on reports to financial data to trends and insights. The visual layouts of all of this are excellent. Monday.com also has an AI assistant that can be your sidekick in getting work done. It can add a task directly to a board, summarize a project board, or even turn unorganized notes into proper documentation. Sidekick isn't just another chatbot, it understands what you're working on. If you're ready to take your productivity to the next level and want to keep your team and projects organized, check out Monday.com today. I'm going to put some links in the description below so you can go check out Monday.com, and my thanks to Monday.com for sponsoring this video. So now that we got the tunnels cleared out, we need to decide what tunnels to go through. For me, this means organizing my task manager. I talked in a recent video about how every single morning I sit down and I assign a priority to every task that is due today. This will auto-sort all of my tasks so that they are in a priority list. So this way I start with the highest priority thing, the priority one, the stuff I need to get done, and work my way down. I think about this like kind of deciding which roads I'm going to go down for that day. I'm looking at the map ahead of time and I'm deciding, okay, I'm going to go straight down this road, and at no point am I now coming to a crossroads and I'm needing to decide, do I need to go left, right, or straight? I've made that list. I've made that priority list. I can just start at the top, work my way down, or for our metaphor, I can just drive straight through, and at no point do I need to make any turns or, make a different decision. I know exactly which way I'm going. Then there's the tunnel's walls. And this is really important because what the walls do is keep you looking straight ahead, keep you looking towards the end of the tunnel. Now, this is going to look a little bit different for everyone, but just keep in mind our metaphor, the tunnel's walls. You're just looking straight ahead. You're not looking around at other tasks, at other things you need to do. You've made that list and you've put your tasks in a priority list. So now you're just going through and you're just moving right down that list. So one of the pieces of that wall for me is deciding which device I will use for that day. Now, most of you know me as the iPad guy on YouTube. I do a lot of my work from the iPad, but I did put out a video recently about my Mac workflow in a post iPadOS 26 world. So every once in a while, I do need to do some work from the Mac. And one thing I've been doing in the morning is deciding which device I'm going to be working from for that day. Is it going to be an iPad day or is it going to be a Mac day? Usually it is an iPad day, but sometimes I need to work from the Mac for that day. And what I try and do is just work from one device because context switching just is a killer of productivity. You're going to see something shiny, you're going to see something different, and you're going to want to go to that thing. Staying on one device, staying in one road, going down one tunnel is going to help you keep moving forward. Another feature, and this is on all of Apple's platforms, so it doesn't matter if you're working from the Mac, the iPad, or even the iPhone, but focus modes are your new best friend. I use these to filter notifications. So I have different focus mode setup that can do different things, but essentially they are kind of a tier list almost. My normal default focus mode that is pretty much always on, I always have a focus mode enabled, and this is kind of my default one, is called personal. And this allows most notifications through. It filters some things, but allows most things through. It allows everyone to contact me. It doesn't matter if they're friends or family. If you have my contact information, you can get a hold of me when I'm in this focus mode. But then there is work, and this is when things get filtered a little bit more. Not as many apps can send me notifications, mostly things like task managers or VIP email clients or calendar events, like big core stuff like that can send me. And then it's even fewer people that can get through, mostly close friends and family. And then there is the filming tier. And again, these don't have to be named what I name them. This is just what works for me. You can name them priority 1, 2, or 3, or 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to call them. But for me, the highest one that basically is the most restrictive is my filming focus. This allows basically no one to contact me unless it's an emergency. You know, certain people know they can break through if it's an emergency, and they know how to break through. As far as apps goes, it's pretty much just my task manager and my calendar that can send me notifications. So if I have something happening at a certain time, I obviously need to take care of that. So I don't want to forget that. So even if I have this focus mode enabled, I want those apps to remind me of this. This is my most restrictive focus mode. Despite it being called filming, I do use this for when I'm writing or editing as well. It's just kind of a way for me to like, okay, this is the highest priority thing. I need to be able to be the least distracted, and notifications are such an easy way to get distracted. Then there's a few apps and services I use as well. One of them that I have talked a lot about lately is Focus Friend. It's an app I use on my iPad. It's an ADHD timer, so that way there's a timer happening and you know you're working for this time, but it also blocks access to certain apps while that timer is running. So I'll block access to social media stuff or YouTube or just about anything that can distract me that's not a core work app. I will block while I have this timer running, and then when the timer's over, I can go back to those apps if I wish. On the Mac, I use Raycast and their focus session feature. What's great about this is you can set up different focus sessions, so you can set it up to block certain apps depending on what that focus session is. So for example, if I'm writing, I can have it block Final Cut. But if I'm, editing, I obviously don't want Final Cut being blocked. And then for music, I am a big believer in no lyrical music when you're trying to focus. I cannot focus on something with words happening. So I'll do like lo-fi music, elevator music. I'm a big fan of the Nintendo Music app because it's like you have a lot of just like lo-fi, nice background music, because that's what a lot of video game music is meant to be, is like background music, and it just works perfect for that. I really like the Animal Crossing ones, the Zelda ones. Those are really good for just having on in the background so you have some noise, but it's not going to distract you. It's not going to pull your attention away. Then the other thing is make your phone an ally and not your enemy. Your phone can be a tool or it could be a distraction. And by a tool, I mean you could use it for work. So I use mine to film myself for short form stuff during the day. I'll even edit some stuff on my phone. I obviously use it to respond to messages, emails. I'll check like the social stuff that like I upload things to on there. Like it can be a tool, but it can also be an enemy. And by that, I mean, obviously there's a bunch of apps and games and stuff on all of our phones that could be used to distract ourselves. So something I use is Brick. Brick is something I found on Instagram, and it's just a way to lock down your device, kind of like Focus Friend, but it's hardware specific. So you actually have to go and scan this device, and it locks down your phone, and it's locked down until you go back and scan it again. I like that physical hardware barrier because it keeps me from just going into the app and turning it off. That physical hardware barrier means that I have to walk all the way to our kitchen, which is the furthest point from my office in our house, in order to unlock my phone. So all of those things build the walls for me. These help me stay focused. They help me get to that other side of the tunnel. They prevent me from driving off the cliff. We're not Thelma and Louise here. Not doing that. We're not going off the cliff. That's what the walls are for. Now, I know not everyone works from home, but I think it's a little more prominent now in 2026 than it was, a decade ago. But I think some of this stuff might apply to office jobs as well. But I do have some more kind of general tips and tricks for you that might help some people that aren't just related to our tunnel metaphor. One thing I did probably about a year or so ago is I put an on-air sign outside of my office. Now, this is just a cheap LED sign I got off Amazon, and it's plugged into a smart plug, and I tied it to focus mode. So when I enable the filming focus on my focus mode, it actually turns this on via shortcuts. It's a very simple shortcut that just uses the background automation utilities, and it just triggers a HomeKit event. Now, what this is for is so that if anyone else is home, my girlfriend, sometimes my girlfriend's mom stays with us, anyone in the home knows, hey, Chris is working on something and he's focused, don't come in. It doesn't have to be an on-air sign. I got that because this is a studio and I thought that was kind of clever. I kind of wanted like a proper neon one, but those are really expensive, so I just got this LED one and it works fine. This next one is going to sound obvious to some people, but I want to say it because I think it's important. Close the door. If you are working in a place with other people, close the door. Now, I know this isn't as easy for other people. I've worked in shared office environments before. I'm sorry, I don't have anything for you. Annoy your boss until you get a private office, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't have anything for you there. But if you have the ability to close the door, close the door. It will make such a big difference. And if you don't have the ability to close the door, or even if you do this as well. Noise canceling headphones. They're amazing. They're so great. They block out noise. Who would have thunk? For me, it's stuff like the dishwasher or washing machine or stuff like that like I don't want to hear it. I shouldn't be able to hear it during my workday when I'm focused. I also have neighbors too that have barking dogs, lawnmowers, really loud cars and motorcycles and stuff like that. And this just helps me stay focused, helps me keep those walls up and not looking out the window, see what's going on and stuff like that. AirPods Pro 3 are my go-to recommendation for noise canceling headphones. They're the best in-ear noise canceling headphones I've ever tried. If you don't like in-ear or you do need something just like a notch above, AirPods Max are great. The Sony WH-M4 or the Sony headphones, the noise canceling over the ear ones, those are great as well. But lastly, sometimes you just have to get out of the house, and that's okay. If you have the ability to work out of your house, go to a Starbucks, go to a coffee shop, local bookstore, whatever. Go to some place that you just find nice and cozy and work there if you can. If you don't have the ability to go out of the office, one thing I will say is when I did have an office job, we had this like kind of patio set up at one of the places I used to work, and I just take my laptop and go work out there. I had that ability. I know not everyone does. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be as all-inclusive as I can, but everyone's situation is a little different. So that's it. That's how I'm reframing my mind in order to stay on target, stay on focus, stay on my work, and not go, ooh, shiny object, because going, ooh, shiny object is not going to get work done. But I want to hear from you all. If you have any kind of like tips and tricks for you to stay on focus, maybe if you have ADHD, how do you tackle that? Let me know in the comments below. My thanks to Monday.com for sponsoring this video. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a great day.